Show us your garden or your nursery.
Okay, so here we are back at the Tamachat Nursery, and we've got all kinds of plants here between shrubs, perennial trees, small perennial trees, fruit trees, annual plants, and everything that we use here is from the soil that we make here, from the compost, biofertilizer, biochar, worm casting. So everything is made here on the farm. All the plants, all the seeds are mostly come from Thailand, I'm pretty sure, unless we have some guests who are coming in and they like to exchange seeds and things like that. But all the seeds mostly come from here. So through here we'll have trays of different seedlings that are growing. For example, now where me and Jason were working on a cucumber trellis. So we need something to put on the cucumber trellis, and we have cucumbers. So then in front of our kitchen we'll have a nice big trellis full of cucumbers, and that's what I planted. So they're kind of growing, and they'll probably be ready to plant in a few days even. They're pretty big. Here we have some gourd, which is like a zucchini squash type of thing. It's quite tasty, and the cool thing about gourd is that you can use this. You can dry it, and you can use the sponge out of it for scrubbing and for washing dishes, and you can eat the inside as well. Some beans here. We kind of propagated a few fruit trees. I have a mango, and I think this one is a guava. So I'm just experimenting with a few different ones, doing them different ways and see what sort of happens. This used to be full of lettuce, but I've planted many. There's just a few left. Some cabbages, corn. Used to have like 5 different types of corn, and now it's all gone. I've planted it, so there's just a few to plant around. Broad beans here. You can see actually one of the beans coming up, and it's becoming a plant. It's growing, and there you can see the 2 halves of the bean on the side. So that grew in less than a week. So really good soil, really good stuff. Fertilize them, we take care of them, we put biochar, we put good compost, and water. If you don't water them, they don't grow. Through here it's a bit more of a perennial. So lemongrass, which we use a lot for the edges on the gardens, so it prevents the weeds from going into the gardens. It's a good repellent, it's great for tea, it's great for making oils. It's just an amazing plant, and it's a really amazing edge plant to sort of prevent weeds and other things going into your garden. And it looks really cool, and it grows super fast, and it smells nice, it repels the bugs, etc. This one is, I believe it's a dragon fruit. It looks like a cactus, but it's a dragon fruit. And in the rainy season, it produces quite a lot of stuff. Like over there, if you walk to the end of the farm, there's a big trellis with dragon fruit. Like all other fruit trees around here, they will mostly produce fruit during the rainy season. During the dry season, you'll have bananas, papayas, a few other odd things, but most fruits will give their fruit in the rainy season. Papaya, eggplant. This one's I think it's a perennial eggplant. That's a tree that it actually grows into a tree, and you can harvest the eggplants themselves. And you can actually, I'm not sure if it's perennial or not. That I'm not sure, but I know that you can harvest the roots and you can harvest the eggplants themselves. So you can eat both. The Thai people use the roots for the soup, and they use the eggplant to add in their stir fries, etc. Lots of mulberries here. We're always propagating mulberries. They grow really well here. They just love it here, and the fruit's delicious, the berry's amazing, it's nutritious, it's good. This one, I don't know, here we have Mexican mint. Mexican mint, even though for me it smells a lot like oregano, they call it Mexican mint, I don't know why. But super good. It's like almost smells like an essential oil.
Yeah, it's really good when some people just drink a lot of alcohol and the next day is bad, so it's good for the liver as well.
And in your garden as well, if you have it amongst your plants, it will help to keep the bugs and the slugs away. It's good to have it in between. These guys are just coming up. I only planted them a few days ago. Some of them are not, because sometimes mice like to come in and dig the seeds. But most of them are doing good. So I have chilies. I have purple corn. That's actually from Europe. The 2 guys from France who came here, exchanged some seeds with us. They brought these purple corns. Quite interesting. I've never tried that type of corn. It's like a purple and white and yellow. It's like almost like a mix. Chives, chilies, so these are annuals. And I made a kitchen garden over there in that area, so all these annuals will go into one place, into one kitchen garden, so then in 1 month you can walk out and pick your chilies, pick your lettuce, pick your arugula. Don't have to walk far, it's all there. Pick your radishes, pick your sweet basil, etc. Yeah, through here is also some more of the darker eggplants and a few other guys that really didn't do so well. Those chilies, the seeds must have been old, or maybe too much moisture or not enough moisture. So they didn't work, it's okay. Try again some other way. But everything else is doing pretty alright. Over there we planted some papaya seeds. It's a papaya Holland, which is one of the most delicious and sweetest papayas here. The owner Bo really likes it, I love it, so we had some seeds, we dried them, we soaked them in EM, we put them in the pot. And hopefully in 3-4 days we'll start seeing something come up. Papaya here grows like a weed, so I'm sure it'll come up. It'll do fine. And through here it's more or less mostly ornamental plants. There's some perennial or annual fruit like pineapples here. Aloe is medicinal and ornamental. There's these guys over here, which are quite beautiful, sort of ornamental plants. In Costa Rica they use them a lot to put along the fences, along the edges of the property, because it's got that red bright color. And the more sun it gets, I think the brighter the color gets. Yeah, a nut tomato here, lime trees. This is also an ornamental, sort of almost looks like a bamboo, but it doesn't grow quite as much as tall. Taro here, Thai ginger, galangal in here. That could go pretty much in the garden anytime. It can grow in hard soils without much moisture. Yeah, so little bits and pieces of things. It's good to label things because sometimes you have other people who don't know the plants or don't know where they go, if it's a weed or a plant. But yeah, in this case they're not labeled. They should be. Like all the top stuff is basically labeled. But this stuff, most of it stays here until the rainy season comes, most of the perennial trees. And a beautiful orchid here, yeah. So most of the perennial trees will stay in the nursery growing up, and sort of we'll wet them and take care of them until the rainy season comes, and then once the rainy season comes, boom, we put them in the ground and they just strive.
Can you tell us about the worm bins?
More about worm bins? Okay, so these are concrete made bins which have a drain pipes here with slots on the inside. That's for the warm juice to drain. On top we have an irrigation system which turns on maybe once, or no, maybe twice. I think twice a week, 3 times a week, to keep the worms nice and wet. They like about 78 to 80% humidity. They like it nice and wet so they can slide through and look for their food and etc. These worms they're not composting worms, they're not tiger red worms, they're just basically earthworms, and they prefer to eat manure. So we feed them manure because that's what they like. And it's just easier to chuck a bunch of manure in each and every one of them than to have to worry about the veggie scraps and all that, so it just works easier. So once the water runs through them, it drains into these drain pipes. Goes along here, so each and every one of them has connections on the bottom, and it's a good idea to put to make small slots through here so that the soil doesn't seep through the pipes, and then normally it's good to put some sort of a mesh or a screening, but it's still kind of hard to keep the soil away because sometimes it's really sticky and slimy, so it just kind of drains right through. But this is really nutrient rich stuff, and being it like that, as long as you can keep the big particles away from the pipes, you'll still drain through. The pipe is quite big. So once the water goes through, that drains into a sub tank, which is connected to a pump, and then that pump will put this, once it gets to a certain level, it will put this into another tank, which is the biofertilizer tank. which is basically as well different kinds of waste of anaerobic bacteria from the biofertilizer itself and from the worm castings or from the worm juice, worm waste. So in that tank we have a combination of 2 different or 3 different anaerobic things put together, and then from there on the garden, on the orchard, on the lettuces, on the flowers, whatever you like. You can use it on its own, or you can mix it with other anaerobic stuff, up to you. I mean, the more the better, I guess. But that's essentially it. So it's just pretty simple circuit, a pump connected to another electrical, basically the cable is split, and the pump is connected to this. So then when the worm juice gets to a certain level, this thing says, okay, time to pump. Click, it starts pumping. And then it will lower itself again until the next time keeps circulating. Yeah, this is essentially. Many people do their worms other ways, like more compact systems, bathtubs, plastic containers, plastic beans. Here, because it's a big farm, a lot of trees, we're doing it big scale. More for the trees. Over there and that side of the property we have more or less mature trees, so we're taking them out from this shady area. And we're giving them a little bit less care just to get them used to the hot sun and the hot environment outside. So now that they're maturing a bit more, we're going to put them over there and get used to the sun, the rain, the wind, the cold, everything. So get them a bit hardier, a bit stronger. This is almost like a rehabilitation site for them. It's almost like preparing them